or something. So much faster with the square baler. And the wrapper might not be as efficient, but frankly I'm still going to get all my bales baled and wrapped much faster with the separate equipment than I am with the okay, that's done. We can now fold. There we go. Okay. Much faster with the separate equipment than I was achieving 4 miles an hour with the big equipment. Yeah, with the fast baler. It's a shame. I would have liked to have used the Vicon fast baler, Vinland fast baler, but they really don't like clover, or it really doesn't like clover, so it wasn't really a functional option. I mean, it's a bit laborious. I could save time by not baling up the straw and just letting it spread on the field. I think there are mods that turn chopped straw into fertilizer, but functionally it just looks, yeah, you've got chopped straw on the field, but it doesn't provide an in-game benefit. So the argument is I'm only getting, what, £3,500 per load here, but it's £3,500 a load. We started today with, I think, just over 170,000, and we're already up to 190. We're definitely going to finish the day, well, we're definitely going to finish this field with over 120,000. I don't know we'll finish it today, but, and also using mods like Follow Me, so you've got the baler following you. Kind of makes baling less of a hassle. It's still the whole wrapping thing is just finding the best way to do it. And I got quite proficient using a front loader on the X-Tractor, that you just pick up a couple of bales, drop them on the X-Tractor, it wraps them for you. And it's a faster wrapper than any of the standalones. But it only accepts grass bales, not any of the other types. But again, maybe for Farm Sim 22 that will be an extra thing. Or someone will mod the X-Tractor to work with clover and stuff. Alfalfa, whatever else you can bale, I don't know. We've only played with clover so far. We have sheep like clover, so we haven't really branched out into any of the other maize plus grass crops. We're doing good, I think. Recognize it? Yes. And we grab one more and we're done again. Sweet. And I also have an auto-load flatbed, but it's an auto-load for squares, not for rounds. So another thing I miss from 17 is the ability to select from the pickup menu what bales you want the auto-load flatbed trailers to grab for you. And it's not realistic, but yeah, you can say, well, I'm getting a worker to go and collect the bales from the field for me, so let's move the story along by just unrealistically driving around the field while the bales beam onto the back of my flatbed trailer. And every so often I'll just say, yeah, okay, I'm going to stack them this time. And kind of keep in practice on that. Did watch video Ollie's farm this week. He was, might have been last week's episode, but he was stacking round bales with one of the round bale grabs rather than forks, bale spikes. And that's something I haven't got to grip with in Farm Sim, probably because of the physics, but those, the grab attachments tend to knock the stack that you've just stacked up over. So it's usually easier to go with bale spikes. I don't think I've ever seen anybody in Farm Sim 19 or 17 using bale grabs. Okay, I've got 2 stacks of silage down there. Maybe I want to keep the rounds and feed them to the sheep. Decisions. I mean, they are in the sheep field, so I don't have to transport them very far. That button there. Okay, that should be 194,000 when we're all done. And done. 194. Nice. Lots and lots of driving. Yeah, so maybe I won't sell those bales. I mean, we're coming up to probably late summer, so another 2 game days and we'll be able to cut more clover again. And what I haven't been able to figure out is why doesn't the sheep trough accept clover in spite of the fact it says it should? The other issue I've found, at least on this map, is if you're doing clover silage bales, use a full bale, because if you put a bale down that is not 4,000 litres exactly, the bale vanishes. So that's kind of a bit of a problem and getting me to consider cutting the bales up. I think if I add the global company mod, it includes a cut bales function, which leaves your bale as a pile of stuff on the ground. But I might need to start doing that with my clover silage. So we'll still, we'll make bales, we'll wrap the bales, we'll let them ferment as bales. But I may just cut them so that they end up as loose clover silage that I can store in my farm silos, and then we can use a tipper or a bucket to take the stuff out to the sheep. Anyway, that's all for sciencing another time, I think. How are we doing? 5, 6, 8, 12, 14, 2, 4, 6, 10, 12. 14. It looks like I'm going to get 2 more trailer loads plus 3. That's annoying. Yeah. There is another, I think it was the Go Wheel, GOWEIL, static baler and wrapper. Now that you just park up somewhere. It has a hopper at one side, so you tip your grass or your possibly clover, I haven't tested it out, into the sort of the receiver bin, and it will then just sit there and generate bales. The problem is, at least I used it in Farm Sim 17, and the problem I found with it is you had to monitor it and pull the bales it was making out of the way, because otherwise you filled up its unload point and it would stop. But theoretically a nice idea. You could make wood chip bales, you could make manure bales, you could make obviously wrapped grass bales, you could make hay bales, straw bales. So all you needed was a collection wagon. And that also happened to include a cut open the bales, because obviously sell points don't accept, or at least in Farm Sim 17 didn't accept, wood chip bales. So you had to take the wood chips to the sell point and then cut the bale open and sell them. But it was a nice way to stack manure or wood chips efficiently on the farm. And be able to move them around fairly efficiently. I mean, a 4,000 litre bale is a 4,000 litre bale. We're running with, what is it? 56,000 litres of straw on the back of this trailer. So, you know, that's comparable to a big loading wagon. But there are some carts that will haul 90,000 litres, and obviously we're not competing with that. And then some of the smaller flatbeds, you can get 8 bales stacked too high, so 16 bales total, or you can get yourself a big loading wagon. And it's probably quicker to use the loading wagon, because it's going to take you as long to drive around the field and collect the straw as it is to run around the field and bale the straw. But I can get all the baling done in one go. I don't have to keep running back to the farm to unload. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Depends how much you like driving. But you're still going to have to collect all the bales, and when you collect all the bales, that also involves driving all the way back to the farm every time you've got full load. Okay, time is 10:40. So anyway, we should start thinking about winding down here. So next week we will be back Saturday morning. I'll probably go the usual. I might have to take the van back. Yeah, I might start early. I don't know yet, but usually start 9 o'clock Eastern time and run for a few hours. Today we're just shy of 3. And this farm will keep going until I find a map I want to spend a lot of time on in Farm Sim 22. Although I will be personally moving to Farm Sim 22 a lot earlier because I want to figure out what all the new season stuff is and alleged new crops and new game functionality. I mean, one of the things I'm assuming is that precision farming will probably be included in the base game as a switch, because it was a free DLC by Giants. So why waste that programming on the new game? Why not include it, provide it as a switch that you can have precision farming on or off depending how you feel. And at least a lot of the functionality, things like the pH levels of the fields, the soil types, the nitrogen levels required by the crops, are probably going to be the same as what they are for 19. So learning it now isn't going to, I'm hoping shouldn't be a complete waste, because it will be mirrored across to the new version of Farming Simulator when we get it. Seasons is definitely going to be different, so that's going to be a whole new learning experience. I don't know what else we're going to get to see early on. I mean, Oxygen David's still working on maps for 19, and I doubt he's looking forward to wasting that development time and not migrating them across to 22 when that comes out. Will I do production? Maybe. Obviously it's something else I can do. If there's an achievement for it, yes, because I'm an achievement collector, so I've still got to do the cows and the pig breeding achievements on 19. But we'll pick. I'll pick a map that I feel comfortable exploring. It may be one that already exists on Farm Sim 19 or did exist on Farm Sim 17. For example, I know that Black Sheep Modding is looking at the Old Stream Farm for 22. I will probably not be featuring that one as a major series because it's a very small map, and we're really going to run out of stuff to do over the long term. Oh, that was not good. Oh, okay. Not a complete failure. Come on. That's not working. I can't get the grab to fold in. But at least I stopped it tipping. So, yay, good thing. Bad thing, I'm driving down the road with the bale grab sticking out. Okay. Teach me for pushing the wrong button at the wrong time. Yes, but what we've got to think is they will add. I mean, so far for 17 and 19, Giants explicitly patched Farm Sim to allow the Seasons mod to work for consoles. They went out of their way to let that happen, which is quite a major undertaking. The precision farming mod is theirs, and they spent a lot of time developing that. Now there was some other stuff that was Giants modded into Farm Sim 17, that was added to FS19. Now, honestly I can't remember what. It's been a long time since I played FS17, and since my PC crashed, I don't have it loaded on my PC anymore. But you know, they do. If they write the code, they will include it for consoles. If they don't write the code, they will very, very, very rarely provide the linkages for a modder to, and then be allowed to use it as part of the console release. So I expect precision farming because that's a Giants thing. I don't expect Global Company because Giants is not going to mod their game to make Global Company effectively, what's the word for it? I had the word, I forgot what word it was, but yeah, effectively included. But we already know that Giants is including production in the next game, native. So, and the example they've shown us is you take wheat to the flour mill and get it turned into, get your wheat turned into flour, and then you take the flour to the bakery and make bread, and you can exit that production at any point. So you can harvest the wheat, take it to the merchant and sell it, and you're out at that point. Or you can take it to the flour mill and turn it into flour, and then you can sell the flour and just not do anything further. Or you can take the flour to the bakery and make bread and then sell the bread. And at each stage you're making more money from your product, but you don't have to get involved in it, but it's probably a nice thing to do. Yeah, I think the thing with production in 17 was so many people were writing production scripts that they ended up interfering with each other. So, you could get Bob's script for making seed didn't work with Jim's script for making fertilizer. And so you could use one or the other on your farm, you couldn't use both. Now, if Bob went and produced a fertilizer producer and a compost producer and a seed producer, you could use all of Bob's mods together. And what the Global Company guys tried to do was create a common set of scripts that all of the modders could leverage off of in order to include them in their game. Or they wouldn't interfere with each other because they all use the same common production APIs. It's not a bale, is it? No. So I kind of like the intent of what Global Company did, or was trying to achieve, but I don't use it that frequently. And I don't use production that frequently. But if it's part of the game and it's going to add to what I can do, I may look at doing at least a limited production. We're also going to have to see what additional crops we get. I mean, if we get hops, then beer might be a thing. If we get, sugar, cocoa, that might be a thing. Oops. Okay, that is all of our bales, I believe. Unfortunately, I can't tell how many I've collected because the trailer was already loaded with some bales from the previous field last week. So I can't say, we created 123 bales. How many bales did we actually create? Might as well check now. Well, that's contracts. 113 bales total. While we're at contracts, field 47. What is the field next to us? I suppose I could look there. 17. Okay, keep pressing escape. Stop pressing escape, dude. Okay, there is no contract for field 17 yet. But that's probably going to come in at about 100,000, 80,000, something crazy like that. I've done a couple of fertilizer contracts on that field. It uses a ton of fertilizer, but it pays out serious money. So, not something I'm shying away from. Our harvester, gonna be a bit of a challenge on that field. It's probably going to take us 2 or 3 grain carts to just do the headland. But if we get a chance, we might do that one. We might have sugar beet harvest tomorrow, or tomorrow game day, and we're coming up on 6 o'clock right now. So that's possible. I think any time within the next 3 game days we'll have sugar beets to harvest. The sunflowers probably not till mid-fall. Potatoes also probably not till mid-fall. I think I planted them late as well. So we'll avail our harvesting equipment for the local farmers and see who needs some help. And I need to buy the slurry moving equipment too. I might price that out while we're unloading this thing. Okay. I'm quite good at this reversing thing. Unlike Jeremy Clarkson. Okay, there we go. So, slurry equipment. So I want the field tank. It's only 25,000. I want one of those, which is 72. We've already got the spread. I think we got that one. Yeah, we've already got that. So that's our spreader. It's 15,000 litres, just under, or just over. But that will place in the field. That will use to fill this up, and then go and get that full as well. So I can have 85,000 litres capacity on the field plus the spreading unit. And as we empty the tanker, I can go and shuttle the tanker back and forwards and still fill this in. That's one of the things I'm a little bit sad about for FS19 is that slurry is not a helper refill item. In FS19, slurry is. You could select when you loaded, when you had a helper with the slurry tank on the back, you could say fill from the pig slurry tank, fill from the cow slurry tank, or fill from the BGA digestate tank. For FS19, the BGA digestate tank is not an option. At least it's not an option on this map. It might be an option on other maps, but not on this one. So if I want to use digestate, I can't just have a helper help themselves and just buy the transport equipment and saying, I've got a bunch of helpers putting digestate on that field over there, and they're taking care of all the shuttling trips and everything else. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, we'll leave that there. I'm going to probably spray down the harvester and header. But we'll pull all this kit down to the end as well. Probably have to pull this in. Because, like I said, I don't expect the sunflowers until about mid-fall, so that's a good, technically, 2.5 months away. You really don't want to leave your equipment all covered in mud for that period. Don't really want to grease up all the bits as well before you go out next time. But potentially we might use this for contracts. We're definitely done with the draper for personal use. So all we got left is sunflowers. I got helianthus header for that. Paintwork's getting very tired on this. Hi, dog. Yeah. So anyway, as I said, we're going to call it round about here. So we'll be back again, as I said, next week, same times, or similar time, same place. And we'll see what we have to get done then. But for right now, everybody have a good weekend, and I'm out of here.